All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. We're going to get into the lesson. This is Romans 6 and 12. It said, "Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you shall obey it in the lust thereof." So, sin is a transgression of the law, but let's go ahead and see what the definition says. Offense, to be with sure, to miss the mark, to be erred, to mistake it, to miss or wander, to wander from the law of Yahweh, violate God's law. So that's what sin is. Sin is a transgression of the law. Sin is violating the law, statutes, commandments. And we're called to be a holy and separate people. Now the scripture says that sin can reign in your mortal body, meaning your flesh, meaning that you can be consumed with desires and ambitions and lusts of the flesh, and that will have a rule over you. Let me get a scripture real quick. This is Genesis 4 and 7. This is the account of Cain, where Cain sinned because the law was oral, and he gave a sacrifice that was contrary to the oral law that was written. He gave a sacrifice of vegetables and produce, I think, and the lawful sacrifice was to be that of animal. And this is what the Most High said unto him. It says, Genesis 4 and 7, "So you will be accepted if you do what is right." This is the NLT, by the way. "But if you refuse to do what is right, then watch out. Sin is crouching at the door, eager to control you, but you must subdue it and be its master." So that just goes to show you that if you are not walking in the flesh or to the best of your ability, sin can reign over you. Sin can have control over you, and it can mess up your walk, man. It can block you from being fruitful in the spirit, man, to being fruitful in this truth. And that's something that you always got to be mindful of. Something that you experience. Yahweh Shai said himself that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So the flesh wants to submit to those things that are contrary against the Most High, man, because they feel good, they sound good, they're pleasing. That's how Eve, the serpent beguiled Eve, by speaking things and promising things that are pleasing unto her carnal nature. So let's go ahead and get back to the scripture. Let's get Romans 7 and 22. This is Romans 7 and 22. Is that what it is? Let's get the King James Version. 23. This is Paul. She's speaking about the conflict of the flesh and the spirit. Every brother experiences this. It's just something that you have to be aware of, man. This is Romans 7 and 23. It says, "But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members." See that? So once again, he speaks of being in captivity, or having sin having dominion over you, or the lust of the flesh having dominion over you. Because you're serving something, man. Either you're serving the Most High in spirit, or you're serving your flesh. And Paul is speaking of the constant battle that we have to, being in these shades of darkness, that we battle, that we deal with while we're serving the Lord, man. Because those things are contrary to one another. So there's always going to be an eternal conflict within you, man. There's always going to be a fight every day, where you have to force yourself sometimes to not fulfill the lust of the flesh, or to stay in the spirit. And this is where a lot of men fail. They give themselves slackness. They give themselves justification for things. And what happens is eventually either the Lord will chastise you and get you back on track, or he'll just let you go, man, and you wasn't one of the men anyways, you know. He'll just let you go off in your bullshit and promote it and promote it and encourage it. You know, give you the spirit that to think that you ain't doing shit wrong. You know, that spirit of self-justification, man. Like, the Lord's, so this is all right. You know, just making excuses. Scriptures talk about sinful man finds an excuse according to his will. That's something you got to be aware of as well, man. You know, because you know, we've seen men that thought that they were in good standing. You know, they thought that their actions and the things that they did were in good standing. But in reality, it wasn't. You know, they fooled themselves. They lied to themselves. And what ultimately happened is the Lord exposed their shortcoming and or their offense that they committed towards the brotherhood or the truth. And he got them out of here, man. But you know, we've seen, you know, things like that, you know, and it happened. It can happen, man. That's why you always got to be mindful of what your intention and where your spirit is at any given moment. You know, and it's easy to get distracted. You know, so sometimes you gotta cut out things that are distracting to you, man. Sometimes you gotta take breaks from things, purge yourself from certain habits and vices that you have. You know, in order to commit yourself, you know, to the Lord. Let's go ahead and get Psalms 19 and 13. This is Psalms 19 and 13. It says, I'll start at verse. It's a lot. I'll start at verse 8. And what keeps us in line is the word. The word is what keeps us in line. The word what keeps us within the guidelines of what we call the truth. This is Psalm 19:8. It says, the statutes of the Most High are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. So this is where we fall back on. The word. The statutes and commandments are basically the word of the Most High. So the fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and honeycomb. So those things that are pleasing to you for the momentary, they're of little value compared to the word. The word is more to be desired than those things, even though at the present moment, you know, you may want to desire those things. You know, we gotta always remember that this truth is what counts. It says, moreover, by them is thy servant warned. So you're not gonna know you're doing nothing wrong unless you stay in the scriptures and examine yourself, man. You're not gonna know how to self-examine yourself and walk in the spirit unless you stay in the scriptures and those guidelines are ever before you, man. And you're gonna know, like, oh shit, I've been doing that. Oh, I've been doing this. Like, I need to stop that. I need to correct that. You know, and that you know, you gotta cut yourself, man. You know, so you gotta listen to videos or you gotta read the word and you'll get cut sometimes, man. Sometimes the apostles make a video, you know, speaking something and you'll get cut, man. Sometimes you'll make a video and you'll cut yourself. You know, sometimes you'll be reading the scriptures and you'll get cut. Like, oh man. And it takes a certain spirit to discern that, man. You know, you gotta, you know, be very sincere. It says, moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse thou me from secret faults. See, because you might think that you're self-justified in whatever action you're taking, but reality you're really not, man. Yeah, that's why staying in the word is of prime importance. It says, keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. So once again, it's clear that the Lord can allow and will allow sin you had to reign and have dominion over you if you are neglecting of staying in this word, man. If you're neglecting of trying to stay in the spirit to the best of your ability. It says, let them not have dominion over me, then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth be meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Yahweh, my strength and my redeemer. And that's what David strived for, and that's what we got to strive for, man. We got to strive to be acceptable. You know, we got to strive for our minds, our thoughts, and our speech, because those control actions. You know, your thought and your speech controls actions. They control your self-talk controls your actions. And that self-talk, that self-thinking should always be aligned with the scriptures for us to be acceptable to the Most High. You know, have a mindset of being acceptable, man. You know, to please the Lord, you know, and because you go through life serving something. When you go to work, you go there to please your bosses, your supervisors. You're not there to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You're expected to perform certain tasks, you know, and whether you like it or not, man, you know, just that's what it is. You know, we're in the same thing, and it's true. Where you know, the Lord has hired us as laborers to perform certain jobs, and one of those jobs is teaching the Word and other things that go along with that, man. You know, and So you're serving the Lord, man. You that's what it means to serve the Lord. You're working for the Lord. You're a slave to the Lord. You work for the Lord's cause. You know? And how are you going to do that if sin has had dominion over you? Because that means you're serving sin. Let's get Psalms 119 and 133. Psalms 119 and 133, and it says, order my steps in thy word. See, once again, you know, staying in the word is what is gonna give you the mentality and spirit to not have sin have dominion or reign over you. It says, order my steps in thy word, and let not iniquity have dominion over me. See that? Let not iniquity have dominion over you. Iniquity is just another word for sin. Let's get Romans 6 and 16. This is Romans 6 and 16. It says, know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey. So you're bowing down, you're yielding, you're falling in line to something. You're falling in line to the world or to the lust of your own desires or ambitions, and then by default you're not falling in line with the Most High. It says, know ye not to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. But Yahweh be thanked that ye were the servants of sin when we were in the world. You know, we were concerned about our own ambitions, our own wills, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which delivered you. You know, that you see that nowadays, man. A lot of men going off on doctrine, and they're going contrary to the doctrine that was taught, that was established, you know, by the elders and apostles. See, being they made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of men, because infirmity of your flesh, for as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness, to iniquity, unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness, unto holiness. So Paul knew about this, man. Knew about the dangers of sin having dominion over you. Let's get John 24 and 15. This is John. Joshua 24 and 15. Joshua 24 and 15. It says, this is Joshua 24 and 15. It says, and seeing evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. You're gonna bow down to something, man. You're gonna bow down to something. So you're not serving the Lord by default. You're serving the idols and wickedness of America. Whether the gods which your fathers served that were outside the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell, but for me and my house we will serve the Lord. So you gonna follow the way of the fucking heathen, or are you gonna serve the Most High, man? And the people that said, Yahweh forbid that we shall forsake the Lord to serve other God. But that's exactly what they did. And that's why the curses, came into effect. But that goes to show you that you're going to yield and serve something, man. Yahweh Shai said that no man can serve two masters. So, you're in service of something. You're in service of something. You're in service, so you got to be mindful of that. Let's get Matthew 8:34. Matthew 8:34, it says, and he said to them, it says, no, that's not what I wanted. It's a lot. This is John 18:34. This is the word that Yahushua said unto them. Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is a servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. The Son therefore shall make you free, shall be free indeed. So it says there that whoso committeth sin is a servant of sin. So once you start going off, man, and when you start doing it, then basically you're serving, your sin has got you under dominion. Sin has dominion over you. Sin has you in bondage. You done. We've seen men follow that path, man, and it's real scary. That's why Scripture says, don't want to tear the Lord, persuade men. But with that being said, it's a real quick lesson here at the plantation. Most High wouldn't hope is edifying, that we give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Let's keep on pushing. Shalom.